What is up, you guys? Michael Myers here. I'm back with another video. Today I'm gonna be doing another discussion, and I've been wanting to talk about this like in a discussion video for quite some time now, but today I'm finally getting the chance to, so we're gonna be talking about it. As you guys know, today's topic, we are gonna be talking about the Hellraiser series. So we all know that Hellraiser is definitely a major franchise in the horror genre. Definitely, these movies are way different, you know, they're definitely something else, and that's what I've always liked about Hellraiser. I've always been a fan of the original movie. I'm a fan of the concept, you know, Pinhead, the Cenobites. I will say the Hellraiser series, I don't think it was as big. It didn't go as big as, let's say, other franchises like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Child's Play, any other horror franchise. Now, don't get me wrong, I know Pinhead is definitely like a big major character in the horror genre, and I'm pretty glad about that, because even though, you know, the Hellraiser series, in my opinion, is probably the series that got more shitted on, I still feel that the Pinhead character definitely deserves to be up there along with the other horror characters. Like I said, man, I've always loved Pinhead since I was a kid. I might have not seen all the movies when I was a kid, but I've always remembered, you know, the creepy dude with the pins on his face, so he was always a definitely interesting character to me, always. So when I got a chance to watch all the movies for the first time, I definitely wanted to like them, but unfortunately, most of them suck. And we all know that. Like I said, I think this is the series that definitely got shitted on the most. And, you know, my favorites are the first two Hellraiser movies. The third one was decent. I don't think it had that similar cadence as the first two, but it's definitely better than, you know, the sequels we got later on. I believe Hellraiser Bloodline, the fourth Hellraiser movie, was the last one to get a theatrical release, and then the rest of the sequels were straight to DVD movies. So that explains why, you know, the whole low budget, cheap, you know, cheesy films that we got. The main reason we care about the Hellraiser series, well, at least me, is because of Pinhead. You know, it's always great seeing Pinhead, but it really sucks that some of these shitty sequels, they really did them bad. From what I heard, you know, at the time, the company didn't really know what to do with this series, you know, so they were pretty much just using the Hellraiser name, the Pinhead character, for people could grab some attention to the films they were putting out. Like most of the straight-to-video sequels that we got, they didn't start off as Hellraiser movies. They started off as a non-Hellraiser movie, and they just threw Hellraiser in there with Pinhead just to get movie sales. Like I said, Pinhead is the main thing we love about these films, so he definitely was used as a way for people to check out, you know, some of these later sequels that we got later on. That's why, you know, some of these sequels, they just stopped feeling like a Hellraiser movie, you know, it just went to shit. Many people have always wondered, you know, and I've even wondered myself back when I was a little younger, when I didn't really get the whole Hellraiser thing. Like, what the hell happened to the series? Like, what happened to the character? At one point, it was a pretty, you know, iconic, and it still is, don't get me wrong, but at one point, it was one of the biggest franchises of all time. Like, Hellraiser, what makes Hellraiser, I think, unique is that it was a different kind of horror, and, you know, it just was something that we've never seen before. The whole body horror, the whole hardcore brutalness to it. Clive Barker definitely made a big impact with his original Hellraiser movie to the horror genre. Now that I'm a little bit older, I kind of have a better understanding on what happened to this series, and the main answer is the company just didn't care for the series. They really didn't. If they did, we wouldn't have all these stringload of shitty straight-to-video sequels. And also, that's why we haven't gotten a straight theatrical release of a Hellraiser movie. I'm pretty sure, you know, Clive Barker himself is pretty damn disappointed on what happened to his vision, what happened to his series. I believe he was only involved for the first 2 movies. I could be wrong. And then after that, I guess, they just started doing whatever with it. In today's world, 2021, what can we really expect from Hellraiser from this point on? I've always heard, rumors about them remaking Hellraiser. I believe since 2009. I've definitely always been hearing that since like the late 2000s. So a remake has always been, planned, has always been discussed about in the past, and now I guess is when they're actually now about to make a move. Supposedly there's a Hellraiser remake in the works right now under Spyglass Media, and from what I heard, Spyglass is definitely looking forward to, reboot a lot of, series from Dimension Films. So it's one of the reasons why Scream 5 came into fruition, because, Scream 5 will be under Spyglass as well. So that means not just Scream they're getting from Dimension, but also a possible new Hellraiser movie. Also, on top of that, this year 2021 is when Clive Barker is finally getting the rights back to Hellraiser. I know we got those news a while back, and that's a pretty good thing, man, because it's back into the hands of the original creator. And from what I heard, he does not own like the whole series. I believe he just owns like the first 2 films. So yeah, that's pretty good that it's back in his hands. Other rumors that I've also heard is that Clive Barker himself is actually looking forward for him to remake his own movie. I heard a few times where he's actually interested on remaking Hellraiser with, of course, a much bigger budget and more stuff they couldn't do back in the 80s. As far as a Hellraiser remake, in my opinion, I feel that it's been long overdue, especially since the pile of crap that we got in the later sequels. I know the whole remake idea doesn't sound like a good one, especially, Hellraiser, the original, being one of my favorite horror movies. I definitely wouldn't want it to be butchered with today's way of making films. I feel if he's on board to do this, I think he will be able to pull it off, maybe. But if it's coming from some other people, I honestly wouldn't want to see it. That's why Clive's, remake idea hasn't really been nothing confirmed, because he has other people, the company, trying to put in their pitch and their own 2 cents to the thing. And it freaking sucks when that happens, because it definitely messes with a director's vision. I heard, the company was actually trying to push for the next Hellraiser movie to be more of a mainstream project and have a PG-13 rating. Yup, you guys know what that means. The company wants to reach out to all sorts of audiences, change the perspective of Hellraiser just so it could appeal and reach out to the audience. If that's Hellraiser to them, I don't want it. There's no way, in my opinion, that they could be able to pull off a PG-13 Hellraiser movie. Like, have these people seen the Hellraiser movies? Do they even know what the hell they're talking about? So that kind of sucks, if that were to happen. I heard Clive Barker was against it, so I think for now we're in good hands. Now this takes me back to the main question of today's topic. Would you guys rather see a Hellraiser remake or a Hellraiser TV series? Supposedly, Clive Barker is returning as an executive producer for HBO's upcoming Hellraiser television series. And David Gordon Green, who wrote and directed Halloween 2018, is set to direct this. When talking about the series to Clive Barker, he did say a little bit about it. He says, "It's time the stories went back to their roots," says Barker according to Deadline. "I'm eager to bring to a new audience the most powerful and ancient elements of horror, the darkest evil invading our human lives and how we must find in ourselves the power to resist it." The show is reportedly a continuation of the Hellraiser mythos rather than a reboot or remake of the films. So if they do this series, it's most likely gonna be a continuation, but it's gonna be more, they're gonna bring it back to the roots of Hellraiser. So that's a good sign, man, because at this point, many horror franchises are looking for a way to come back, and for some of them, it managed to work. Of course, after the success of Halloween 2018, many people are looking forward to this strategy. We're in a time where horror movies have gotten back up on the map. People are accepting horror movies now more than they ever were before. Back then, horror wasn't really taken seriously. It wasn't really commercial, especially, like I said, after many successes Halloween 2018, the It 2017 remake. People are seeing that it's making money. Now many franchises are looking forward to make a comeback, and I think Hellraiser was definitely one of those that were under consideration after the success. So definitely it'll be no surprise if we eventually end up seeing new films, new series. We're now getting a brand new continuation to the Child's Play movies in the upcoming sci-fi Chucky series, but I feel if this Chucky series manages to be a hit and a success, there's definitely no question about it that this Hellraiser series could work, and there's no question about it that probably any other franchises could work as a TV series. So yeah, man, we'll have to see what happens about all that. With this Hellraiser stuff, my opinion is Hellraiser Pinhead has always had a potential to be something bigger, and I think it still has. And if they step forward with this TV series or remake idea, I think they still got a chance for them to show audiences that Hellraiser is not dead. It's not a series that's dead. It still definitely has potential to scare audiences. I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to make people take Hellraiser serious again. And like I said, if it's good and different, I'm all in for it. For a remake, I wouldn't want to see like a cardboard copy of the original film with today's technology. But if they were to make a remake, I wouldn't mind them doing something little bit different. Maybe find another way to introduce Hell on Earth, to introduce the Cenobites, Pinhead. I know the original Hellraiser had to do with, family betrayal. Julia was having an affair with Frank. So that's why I think Hellraiser came out to be, a disturbing film, because horror could come from something as simple as in your own family. And that's what I liked about Hellraiser. It had to deal with a real life situation that in reality, many people deal with this type of issue, A lot of families have their own issues. So with this new take on Hellraiser that they're gonna come out with, I would like to see, these demons, the Cenobites, come to Earth because of a real life situation, just like in the original. But maybe switch it up this time, have it deal with another certain issue that, people deal with in the real world. And I think that's what gives the audience more of an attachment to the film. If they have something unique, I think people would like it. And like I said, I think it'll definitely bring back Hellraiser back on the map. Now for the TV series, I think they have more of a time. They have more time span to work on this because it is a series, it's not a movie. And if they do the TV series, it's gonna have more of a connection to that original movie instead of a completely reboot of the franchise, which I wouldn't mind seeing, like I said, but I just still don't want to see the original movie get ruined for me. So personally myself, what I would like to see the most out of a remake or a TV series, I think I'm heading more forward to that series way. Hellraiser has a gang of movies, the storylines are all over the place, so I think it'll just be easier for it to be into a series rather than just making movie after movie. I think a series with Hellraiser, especially Hellraiser, is a good way to go with it, and that's just my opinion. But that's about it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. Would you guys like to see a Hellraiser remake or a Hellraiser TV series? Tell me what you guys would like to see new for the Hellraiser series. Do you guys think any of this is a good idea? Do you guys want Hellraiser to be buried and forgotten? Make sure you leave all your thoughts in the comments.